The National Electrical Code, or NEC, addresses requirements for lighting fixtures installed in shower spaces. Specifically, NEC Section 410.4d covers this topic. It's important to note that code requirements can change between editions, and local jurisdictions may have additional rules. Looking at the 2005 NEC, Section 410.4d states that shower spaces, as defined in Section 380.2, shall not contain recessed lighting fixtures unless they are marked suitable for wet locations. This means the fixture must be designed and rated to withstand the moisture and humidity present in a shower environment. A key takeaway here is the absence of a specific height requirement above the shower floor in the 2005 NEC. However, suitability for wet locations is crucial. Moving on to the 2008 NEC, Section 410.4d introduces a new requirement. It states that recessed lighting fixtures installed in shower spaces, as defined in Section 380.2, shall be provided with a thermal barrier between the fixture and the shower space. This thermal barrier could be a listed fixture enclosure. The purpose of this thermal barrier is to prevent the fixture from overheating and potentially causing a fire. In summary, the 2005 NEC focuses on the fixture's suitability for wet locations, while the 2008 NEC adds the requirement for a thermal barrier to protect against overheating. It is also important to know the definition of shower space, which you can find in the NEC definition Article 100. This usually means up to 8 feet vertically from the top of the threshold or commonly recognized shower height. It will also include the area that is defined horizontally, that is from the threshold of the shower to a point of 3 feet from the threshold. When installing a luminaire in a shower space, it would need to be rated for wet locations and be identified for use in that shower space. Some luminaires that are installed in shower spaces need to also be identified for contact with insulation, which would be labeled as IC rated. This is where the housing of the luminaire is in direct contact with thermal insulation. It is very important to check with the authority having jurisdiction to verify which NEC version is being enforced, as well as any local amendments to the NEC. Common types of luminaires used in these locations are recessed can lights and surface-mounted luminaires. The most common type of lamp used in these applications would be an LED lamp. Always refer to the manufacturer's specifications when choosing the type of lamps to install in a luminaire. When installing any electrical components, you need to install them according to their listing and labeling requirements. It is important to note that the NEC is not a design manual and does not specify where to locate the luminaire. If a lighting fixture is not rated for a wet location, it should not be installed in a shower. If it is rated for a wet location, it can be installed in a shower, but the installation must comply with all other applicable requirements of the NEC. Always consult the luminaire's instructions on the approved locations for the product you are about to install. If you are unsure if the luminaire is listed for the location, always verify with the manufacturer. There are different types of protection for luminaires in different locations. For example, in a wet location, all metal parts of the luminaire must be corrosion resistant. In a damp location, the luminaire must be protected from moisture. In a dry location, the luminaire does not need to be protected from moisture. So to reiterate, when installing lighting fixtures in a shower space, there isn't a mandated height above the floor in the 2005 NEC, so long as the fixture is rated for wet locations. The 2008 NEC introduces the thermal barrier requirement for recessed fixtures. Always double-check local building codes for any extra requirements. Contacting your local building department is the best way to ensure you are following all applicable regulations. It is also important to use a qualified electrician when installing any electrical equipment. Remember that electrical work can be dangerous, and it is always best to consult with a professional if you are not comfortable doing the work yourself. They will be familiar with the current codes and can ensure that the installation is done safely and correctly. They will also have the necessary tools and equipment to do the job properly. The NEC is updated every 3 years, so it is important to make sure that you are using the latest version. The NEC is not a substitute for good judgment and common sense. Always use caution when working with electricity. Always turn off the power before working on any electrical equipment. Always use the proper tools and equipment. Always follow the manufacturer's instructions. There are many different types of lighting fixtures available, so it is important to choose the right fixture for the application. Consider the amount of light needed, the style of the fixture, and the energy efficiency of the fixture. LED lighting fixtures are becoming increasingly popular because they are energy efficient and long-lasting. It is a good idea to install a ground fault circuit interrupter, also known as a GFCI, on the electrical circuit feeding the shower lighting. GFCIs are designed to protect people from electric shock. They work by monitoring the current flowing through a circuit and tripping the circuit breaker if there is a ground fault. Ground faults can occur when electricity flows through an unintended path, such as through a person's body. GFCIs are required in many areas of the home, including bathrooms, kitchens, and outdoor areas. They are a good way to protect yourself and your family from electric shock. Do not assume that something is safe just because it is new. Always follow the manufacturer's instructions and consult with a qualified electrician if you have any questions. Remember, the goal is to create a safe and functional bathroom. By following the NEC and consulting with professionals, you can ensure that your lighting installation meets all requirements and provides you with years of trouble-free service. Always remember to verify if the product has been recalled by the manufacturer. Recalled products can be dangerous and should not be used. There is no exception to the rule when it comes to electrical safety. It is always better to be safe than sorry. When choosing a recessed light for a shower, look for one that is marked as suitable for wet locations. This will ensure that the fixture is properly sealed and will not allow water to enter and cause a short circuit or other electrical hazard. These fixtures usually have a gasket that seals the trim to the housing, preventing water from entering the fixture. The trim is the decorative part of the fixture that is visible from below. If you are unsure whether a particular fixture is suitable for wet locations, consult the manufacturer's instructions or ask a qualified electrician. Some recessed lights are also IC rated, which means that they are safe to be installed in direct contact with insulation. This is important if you have insulation in your ceiling, as it will prevent the fixture from overheating. If you are installing a recessed light in an existing ceiling, be sure to check the existing wiring to make sure that it is in good condition and that it is properly sized for the new fixture. If the wiring is old or damaged, it should be replaced by a qualified electrician. You can check the size of the conductor based on the ampacity using NEC table 310.15b16. This table will help you determine the minimum size of the wire needed based on the amperage of the circuit. When working with electricity, always take precautions to protect yourself from electric shock. Wear rubber gloves and shoes, and do not work in wet conditions. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, hire a qualified electrician to do the work for you. Be sure to turn off the power to the circuit before you begin working on it. You can do this by turning off the circuit breaker that controls the circuit. Before touching any wires, use a voltage tester to make sure that the power is off. It is also a good idea to have a second person present when you are working with electricity in case of an emergency. Remember, even low voltage electricity can be dangerous. Always take precautions to protect yourself from electric shock. In addition to the NEC, there may be other codes and regulations that apply to electrical installations in your area. Check with your local building department to find out what the requirements are in your area. It is also a good idea to consult with a qualified electrician to make sure that your electrical installation meets all applicable codes and regulations. A qualified electrician will be familiar with the local codes and regulations and can ensure that your electrical installation is safe and up to code. They will also be able to advise you on the best way to install your lighting fixtures and other electrical equipment. Remember, electrical safety is important. By following the NEC and consulting with professionals, you can ensure that your electrical installation is safe and up to code. Be sure to check the ampacity of the circuit breaker that protects the circuit. The circuit breaker should be sized to protect the wiring from overloading. If the circuit breaker is too small, it will trip frequently. If the circuit breaker is too large, it will not protect the wiring from overloading. Overloading can cause the wiring to overheat and potentially start a fire. Always use the proper size wire for the circuit. The size of the wire is determined by the amperage of the circuit. If you use wire that is too small, it can overheat and potentially start a fire. Always make sure that all electrical connections are tight and secure. Loose connections can cause the wiring to overheat and potentially start a fire. Always use the proper tools and equipment when working with electricity. Using the wrong tools can damage the wiring or equipment and potentially cause an electric shock. Always follow the manufacturer's instructions when installing electrical equipment. Failure to follow the instructions can damage the equipment or potentially cause an electric shock.